Ta'ala wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to Doctor and also all my fellow friends. So today our group would like to present our topic, which is the liquid and liquid separation process. So before we start, I would like to introduce my group members. My name is Muhammad Ahmad Syed bin Rahmat, and this is Muhammad Hakim bin Zafri that will accompany me throughout the presentation, and also our two other group members, Tan Jin Tian and also Tan Sok Fern. So without further ado, let us proceed with our presentation. Before we start, I would like to explain more about the fundamental theory for this topic. Basically, liquid and liquid extraction is a useful method to separate components of a mixture. In a simple word, liquid and liquid extraction, also known as by the other name of solvent extraction, is used to separate the desired compound from a mixture by using two types of stream. So this is the theoretical definition of liquid and liquid extraction. It is a process of transferring solute from one liquid phase, which is the feed, and also to another immiscible or partially miscible liquid phase, which is the solvent. These two types of phases are typically quite different, which leads to a separation of compounds according to their distribution or partition between the two phases. Normally, this process includes two types of stream, which is the water and also organic solvent. So this is the type of case that we would like to explain. So this case usually involves two types of liquid stream, just like I said before, that containing compound A, B, and C. They are contacted. So the main purpose of this case is to separation of A from a mixture A and B by using solvent C. For this type of problem, we like to consider A as the acetic acid, B is the water, and C is the isopropyl ether solvent. So the characteristic of each type of the solvent, each type of the stream can make the separation to occur, such as B and C are partially miscible with each other, which means that B and C is, and otherwise for A, completely soluble in both B and C. That is why we can see from the feed stream there are A and B component compounds, but at the end of the product, the raffinate, we can see there is A, B and C. Same also as the solvent, which is the stream consists only C compound, but at the end of the product, for the extract, we can see A, B and C compound in the stream. So this is, as you can see, the equation that we will commonly use for this type of problem, the Mass-Balin equation. So for more clarification, I would like to pass the presentation to my group member.
Yes, Assalamualaikum. Okay, now I want you to open textbook, compulsory. Serious. Page 833, because this topic is, Arish had explained this topic, but that is Arish style. Okay, so this is my style. I'm Malay, so we understand Malay better, right? Okay. So please, because in this example, this in the book, and maybe it will come out in final. I don't know. Okay, because you can see, we will teach you graph from one line to another line to another line. Yes. Okay, so please. Page book open. Please refer book. Page 833. Example problem 1272. Because this is the hardest topic in the mass transfer. And okay, so Okay, tips for to answering this question. Okay, first of all, you write this box and write this diagram or keyword: extract, solvent, refinate, and fit. Okay, so when we fit the question, an aqueous fit solution of 200 kilograms per hour containing 25% acetic acid. Okay, so we know aqueous fit entering 200 and 0.25 the composition. Being extracted by pure isopropyl ether at the rate of 600. Okay, so we know extracted before being extracted 600.
Wow.
In a Rontagara multi-stage system, the acetic acid concentration in the aqueous phase is to contain 3.08%. So we know acetic acid. So calculate the composition and amount of the acid extract. You want to find this and refinate streams. Okay. Calculate the composition and amount of the acid extract. Stream use equilibrium data from appendix A3, which given here. Okay, so do you remember why this is 0, this is 1? This is because the theory. When theory lah. Okay. So in here we don't have A, B, so we have C. C. So automatically A is become 0. And for this 0.25 given, and we have only A and B. So it's given in the question A, so C is equal to 0. Okay, do you understand? Do you open your book? Okay, for the first one, we want to plot data from here to here. How can we get that line? From the equilibrium data given. So this is your x, y, x and y.
X acid, Y acid.
X acid, Y acid there lah. Okay, so from this one x and y, we get the dot given here from the first two column, and another two column we get from here. So we connect it, become this line. This is for the first line. Okay, for the second line, okay, this one. How can we get that line from the? Okay, first part is 0, 1. Where we get the 0, 1? You want to plot this line from this line to this line and make it a straight line. Okay, first 0, 1 we get from the question 0 and 1 for the solvent from the top line, and to the bottom line we use this. Okay, for the second line 0, 1 and 0.25. So 0.25, 1 connect it. Yes. Okay, and then find the M. M is here actually. So to get that M, using only the plain the formula, we given this. Just insert it and we get the S and Y for the M point. Okay. Okay, so now we got M point. Okay, for the third line, from here to here. Okay, how could we get it? Okay, from the M point, we should get the Ln. Ln is given in the question. Okay, this is your Ln, 0.25. 0.03, I'm sorry. Okay, from the end point, the 0.03 from the this one side, the gram, before the gram. So just from the end point, you straight until you touch the Ln, and just straight upward, you get the V1. Okay, so now we can solve the question for Ln and V1. Okay, from point B, where we got S1, we got YA1 and YC1. Okay, this many should look here. Okay, and the last one, we want to find the N1, N and V1. Only playing the formula again, and we've got this all the answers that we want to find. Okay, so if you don't understand, see me after class. Okay, that's all for the 3-line for liquid-liquid separation process. Okay, I pass to Amar again.
Alright, thank you Hakim for the explanation. So now we would like to continue our presentation with the application of LLE, which stands for the liquid and liquid extraction. So basically, liquid and liquid extraction is largely used in many industry with variety purpose. For example, we have list down here is, first of all, is the food industry application. So in the food industry application, the separation and purification of particular flavor as well as caffeine extraction. The thing here is I would like to bold the word caffeine extraction because the fun fact about it is all of you might as well know that coffee has the highest amount of caffeine in it. But the fact is, before coffee is prepared, the raw material, which is the coffee bean, has lower amount of caffeine compared to tea leaves, which is the raw material to prepare tea. So the reason why coffee it has higher amount of caffeine is because when we prepare tea and coffee, tea is brewed until it is diluted, which cause the amount of caffeine is lower than the coffee itself. So that is why caffeine extraction process is special for extraction of caffeine from tea leaves. So the next one is the agricultural chemical extraction. So in the agricultural chemical field, in order to extract pesticide from water, the industry applied liquid and liquid extraction, and also for the metal and mineral organic compound that is remained from the agricultural waste, it also applied the liquid and liquid extraction in order to extract the metal and mixture itself. So the next one is the essential oil extraction. So for this point, the bio oil is produced, it is largely produced by undergoing the chemical process such as fermentation and also algae process. The term algae process is used for process which is the combination of carbon dioxide and also algae, which will produce the byproduct or byproduct of oil. So inside the oil there is biofuel. So the first step to purify the oil to get the biofuel, we will like to use the LLE method because it is an efficient process to separate bio oil according to their polarity and different chemical group compared to the solid phase extraction. The next one is the protein separation purification. So for this point, the liquid and liquid extraction process is useful to separate and purify the protein and also peptides due to their more labile nature in the organic solvent. The next one is the fermentation and algae broth. This kind of process is almost likely as the previous process because biofuel and chemicals are also produced, like I said, produced from the fermentation and algae. So the effective process from fermentation technology is by using LLE process because it has the ability to reduce energy equipment as well as cost effectiveness. So the last one is the removal of high boiling organic from wastewater. As we all know, nowadays the amount of consumed water used by the people on earth increase day by day. So new technologies are developing to reuse the water efficiently. So the presence of micropollutants such as aniline, phenols, nitrate, aromatic had adverse effect which render the reuse of water. Solvent extraction method, also known as liquid extraction, was reported as the most effective method to remove and recover the chemical from the wastewater. This one is, I would like to pass to you.
Okay, now we'll proceed to the effect of current industry practices. The negative effect for the liquid separation. Okay, large consumption of possibly toxic solvent, which also recycled in system, requires costly equipment, so it's expensive. And disposal of organic solvent using incorrect method may be hazardous and cause contamination to our environment. Okay, next, disposing of waste solvent in an empty lot or through the river is against federal law. It's against our law. If caught, severe fines or a death sentence may be imposed. Okay, and this is the positive effect. Although LLE system introduced traces of organic compounds to the treated streams that could be considered as second contaminant, there are places where liquid extraction can remove some contaminant more effectively. Okay, the effect removal of metal ion contaminants from aqueous solution. Heavy metal ions cannot be removed by gas stripping or distillation, are the totally non-volatile contaminant. Next, removal of toxic organic compounds. The hydrophobic contaminants are likely to favor the solvent phase and be removed. Okay, ways to minimize the negative effect. Okay, what we can do, where organic solvents are required in a process, investigation of both the technical suitability of the formulation and health hazards associated with the solvent. Components are considered essential to determine the product's overall sustainability. Okay, next, we can prevent steam contact and inhalation of solvent vapors. And lastly, ways to manage the large consumption of toxic solvent. If the aim of the process is to achieve a pure extract, the LLE as a downstream process is more often only in the initial step. Okay, further ways, purification such as distillation, crystallization or second extraction might be needed. Hence, it has to be taken into consideration when planning an overall efficient process, since this can heavily influence the cost and complexity of the process design. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you. Yeah. Dengar.
On your file.